Merci beaucoup à Greta. Donc, nous allons commencer.
Thank you, Greta.
Nous n'avons pas beaucoup de personnes qui viennent.
We would like to start, but we don't have a lot of people who are here. But no matter what, you're going to record it, so we are going to start so that those who come later will still have access to the video to watch.
Donc, nous allons demander à Greta de partager son écran afin de présenter.
So we are going to ask Greta to share a screen so that we'll be able to see the slide we are using. So I'm going to speak to you guys briefly about what is World Beyond War and how to start a chapter in your locality. So World Beyond War is a global movement, and it was established in January 2024. Our ambition as World Beyond War is to put end to all wars. So our mission is to abolish the institution of war.
Et ici, il ne s'agit pas pour nous de la guerre d'un seul jour, la guerre comme se déroule au quotidien, mais de l'institution de la guerre elle-même en attaquant les causes profondes de la guerre.
So we are going after the institution of war, not war as it goes on, but the fundamental causes which bring about war.
Chacun dans son coin, qui se constitue en chapitre, en affilié.
So we decide to go about the model of decentralization. That means people can be in their localities and they will have World Beyond War chapter with them. And our declaration has been signed in 204 countries. And then we have 52 chapters, 17 of them in Africa, and we have 123 affiliates. And more than 1,000 organizations have signed the Declaration of Peace. And we are being financed by some little donors who support us monthly. But one thing you have to know is that we are autonomous. We are not controlled by any organization. We are autonomous in our operations. So this is our declaration of peace. We understand that war and militarism makes us less sure instead of protecting us. It kills us, it injures us, it traumatizes adults, children, and also nursing babies. As we have all seen, it destroys the environment, it erodes away our civilian liberties, and it also drains our economies by just pushing our resources into activities which does not help life. So we engage ourselves to participate and support non-violent effort, aiming to put end to wars and anything that will bring war by restoring peace, which is just and durable. So our theory of change is three. We have three things which are the component of our theory of change. The first part is education, the second part is action, and the third part is media. And it's worth knowing that we are going for non-violent action.
Et à présenter des alternatives non violentes qui ont été éprouvées.
And our education will focus on non-violent actions which have been taken in order for wars to come to an end. And our media we aim to make sure that things are adapted to the local context.
Qu'il s'agisse de désinvestir une ville des armes, de fermer une base militaire, ou bien d'organiser des rassemblements, des veillées.
So our aim is not about going to cross military bases or just trying to invade military bases. No, it's to educate, take non-violent action, and then use media so that the authorities which are in charge of this will remake new decisions. So our directional principles, which guides our operation, which guides everything that we do, is abolitionism, visionary for global peace. We are non-partisan, we are non-violent, we are decentralized, we are resilient and evolving, we are pluralist, we are inclusive, and we are intersectional. And our aim is to construct movement. And we are going to construct this movement by using our different chapters all over the globe. So we work to deconstruct the myth that we know. One of the myths is that war is unavoidable, it's inevitable. Another myth is that war is necessary. Another myth is that war is beneficial. Another myth is that war is just. And these are myths which they have constructed, these are ideologies that have been proposed to people that war is inevitable, war is necessary, war is beneficial, and war is just. And what we are saying is that war is immoral. War puts us in danger. War threatens us and threatens the environment. War erodes away our liberties. War makes us poor. War favor anarchy. And then actually we need about 2 million United States dollars for that we can be for the year, which can be used for something else. We are now putting this money into war. But this huge amount of money can rather be used for something else instead of using it for war-related purposes.
Où nous disons que clairement, avec 3% seulement du budget des États-Unis sur l'armement, nous on est capable de mettre fin, d'éradiquer la faim dans le monde.
And with only 3% of the military budget of the United States, we'll be able to put to an end the anger issues in Africa.
De façon non violente et ultimement créer une culture de la paix.
And our goal is to demilitarize security, manage conflict in non-violent way.
WorldBeyondWar, à travers ces plages, dispose de multiples ressources.
So as WorldBeyondWar, we have several resources, which is going to help us to go about our goals. And as we have talked about in the prior slide about our theory of change, which is education, action, and media, we have books, which is there for educating people. We have courses online. We have a study guide on War No More, which is titled War No More. We organize this webinars and podcasts, and then we have information files. We have annual conferences, we have calendar of peace, and then we have military maps. We have office of speakers. We have training that we do for organizations. We have social media. We have graphical conceptions. We have our websites. We have meetings that we facilitate. And then we have webinars, several webinars that we do, events, and then we publish blogs and articles.
C'est des individus qui sont là, des personnes ressources qui peuvent intervenir.
So sometimes you may ask, what is the Office of Speakers? Our Office of Speakers is a group of experts who are able to intervene in our various things that we do, like webinars, conferences. These are experts who know the field, and they will be able to share with us their ideas, their experience, and how we can go about implementing our theory of change. And then the amazing The amazing thing about our courses is that they are online and then you can access them anytime, any day, any moment.
Et de construction des mouvements à la base. Donc, nous avons également nos pages des réseaux sociaux, ce que vous pouvez suivre, et nos chapitres sont également invités à établir eux-mêmes leurs propres réseaux sociaux avec notre aide, que nous pouvons les aider à suivre. Donc, nous utilisons un réseau d'action, nous utilisons des plateformes pour concevoir des graphiques que des chapitres peuvent utiliser pour leurs événements. Nous aidons également les affiliés dans la mesure du possible à construire des sites web et nous facilitons également des réunions. Donc, nous pouvons également héberger des webinaires, des événements.
And then one thing, amazing thing is that we can host your webinars for you. So if you have any webinar which is in relation with ending wars, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And then we are also able to provide visuals and then graphical conception to help any initiative which is going to help stop wars.
Pour communiquer sur leur activisme qui se passe au niveau local et avoir cette vitrine-là au niveau mondial pour se faire voir et contribuer à cette œuvre d'abolition de la guerre. Diapo. Voilà, un chapitre de façon concrète a pour mission principale de promouvoir.
So a chapter in a practical way is for us to promote the mission of World Beyond War by abolishing war, to organize events, campaigns, activities based on education to peace and non-violent action, is to take signatures for declaration of peace, to organize more than 4 events yearly, and also organize activities which are localized to your community.
Comptons justement sur les chapitres pour amener les individus qui sont dans ces pays-là à signer les déclarations de paix. Et partout où nous avons déjà des signatures, accroître le nombre de ces signatures-là. Un chapitre est appelé à organiser au moins 4 événements par an. Il y a des événements que vous pouvez faire en ligne, en personne, pouvez être des réunions et toutes sortes de protestations dans votre localité.
And for you to organize a chapter, you can go about organizing meetings, webinars, and different activities which are non-violent in order for us to help stop wars in your country, in your region, or in the global sector of Africa and the world at large. And each chapter must be aligned to our global mission.
Une activité phare pour sa localité, ce que la localité demande le plus. Donc, c'est pour ça que je disais que tantôt que chaque chapitre est en réalité autonome et libre de nous.
And one thing is that each chapter is autonomous. However, you must make sure that you always keep in line with our mission. What are now the advantages of having a chapter in your locality? The first advantage is that you get resources and trainings for free. You get a web page and a diffusion list free, like the list that you can send mails to people. We'll make sure that your events become popular, and also you'll be able to recruit volunteers. We'll put you in contact with people all over the world who are working on similar initiatives. And then you'll be able to organize 4 meetings or activities with other coordinators of a chapter. And then you'll be able to, we share our news or our update with a global audience which are interested in our activities by emails, by our website, and by social media.
Moi, en l'occurrence, au niveau Afrique, en tant qu'organisateur régional, pour mettre vos activités en ligne, pour faire la promotion, pour partager à travers notre site web et nos réseaux sociaux, pour faire connaître, pour associer des éventuelles personnes
And
intéressées à vos
as usual, by using our social media and our website,
avoir des
our
échanges
goal
également.
is to make sure that all our chapters are related.
Alors, il y a des questions récurrentes que nous
There are frequently
posons
asked
sur un
questions.
chapitre.
And
Avant de commencer, il doit
what are
falloir
the answers to the
savoir.
frequently asked questions?
La première question généralement posée, c'est est-ce que WorldBeyondWar soutient la violence,
The first question is that does World Beyond War support war,
Et pour nous, c'est
violence,
catégorique. Et
or
pour
arms in certain
WorldBeyondWar, on ne
circumstances?
soutient d'aucune façon
Categorically
la guerre,
speaking,
les
we can
armes
say that we don't support violence, war,
et la
and
violence
arms
en aucune circonstance.
in any circumstances.
Nous pensons que la non-violence est le moyen le plus indiqué pour.
We believe that non-violence is the way
La
out.
deuxième question fréquemment posée, c'est
The
est-ce que
second
nous
question
sommes
that is
véritablement
normally asked is
là
that can I
pour
be
collecter des
collecting
fonds
funds or money for World Beyond War?
En principe, oui. $200 par an pour WorldBeyondWar pour un chapitre qui a la capacité de le faire.
In
Mais
principle,
ce n'est pas absolument une obligation.
$200 per chapter of World Beyond War if the chapter has a capacity. And this is only a requirement if the chapter has a capacity to provide $200 per year.
La troisième question,
The third question is,
où un chapitre local peut soutenir un candidat à
can World Beyond War or a local chapter,
la réponse c'est non.
can World Beyond War, a chapter of it, support a political candidate? And categorically, our answer is no. We don't support political activities, or we don't support somebody for his political agenda. We are not interested in political, like supporting political ambitions of someone. The last question is that, or the fourth question is that, what is the juridic structure of a chapter? Each chapter is autonomous. However, you have to be aligned to our global mission. But at a local level, every chapter can have a judicial structure which works for them in terms of their locality, but they must always be aligned to our global mission. We don't have a standard to recommend to you, but it is in relation to your local realities.
Chaque fois, nous sommes disponibles pour répondre à ces questions-là et éclairer.
And if you have any other question, please don't hesitate to always ask us. We are always ready to help you to respond to your questions when you have any questions. Our team is available to respond to your questions.
Alors, pour qu'un chapitre lance ses activités, il y a plusieurs types d'actions qu'un chapitre peut initier pour son lancement officiel.
There are plenty or several activities that each chapter can use as the way to launch their initiative. It can be a big conference with specialists and then people who have the habit or the opportunity to speak to big audiences. It can also be projection of films which are recommended by World Beyond War. It can be reading clubs or other books and then study on no more war. And other chapters can also launch through webinars.
D'aucuns sont lancés par des réunions. L'un des plus récents étant par exemple les chapitres de l'Ouganda et des chapitres de Malawi qui ont fait des réunions en personne. Japon.
And we have other chapters like Malawian chapter which make launch in person.
World Beyond War, comme je l'indique, est un mouvement au niveau local où chaque chapitre initie ses actions et les met à la disposition du
World Beyond War is a local. We have local chapters, and every chapter can initiate their activities in line with our global mission. And as you can see, we have Cameroon here, and we are always available to accompany your chapter. We're always available to assist your chapter in any way that we can so that your chapter will be able to progress nicely.
Par lequel vous apprenez à connaître WorldBeyondWar et apprendre des modèles d'organisation à la base. Donc, diapo. Voilà, contactez-nous en écrivant.
So how can you contact us? You can contact us by using this email, africa@worldbeyondwar.org. And our website is worldbeyondwar.org. And our social media channels is World Beyond War. So you can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or right now, which is X, YouTube, and then TikTok. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation.
Voilà, donc voilà ce que nous avons préparé pour vous faire.
So this is what we prepared for you, and then our aim was to share the knowledge on the way things go about when it comes to World Beyond War and creation of local chapters.
Maintenant, nous allons, en attendant d'arriver aux questions, donner la parole à nos deux intervenants.
As we wait for questioning and answering time, we'll give the chance to two coordinators of our local chapters, and then they are going to share their ideas or their thoughts on one or two things.
I don't see Elvis, but Farida's here.
En attendant que Elvis se connecte, je vais donner la parole à Farida Tiombiano, qui est la coordinatrice du chapitre de Burkina Faso de World Beyond War.
So we are going to give the word to Farida, who is the coordinator for Burkina Faso.
Installé en 2025. Donc, Farida, en quelques minutes.
And then Burkina Faso chapter was done in 2025. And then Farida is going to talk about how she started the Burkina Faso chapter and how things evolved. So she's going to talk about the Burkina Faso chapter. And
Merci Greta.
Good morning. Thank you, Guy. Thank you, Greta.
Okay. Donc, je suis Farida Chambiano. Je suis journaliste.
I am Farida Chambiano.
Je suis la secrétaire générale d'une association qui milite contre la désinformation en ligne.
So I am the Secretary General for an association which goes against misinformation online. So it was during one of our trainings I came to hear about World Beyond War.
L'ami de la représentante du Mali, si je ne me trompe pas. Voilà.
And then there was a friend to the Malian coordinator who was at the meeting, who spoke to us about World Beyond War, what is it, and what it does. And due to that person, I was able to have the necessary information when it comes to World Beyond War. And then this made me to understand things. And after that, I sent a mail to Guy. And then afterwards, we had our first exchange. And then Guy recommended that I go to the World Beyond War website and various social media channels so that I'll be able to have more idea and more knowledge about everything.
Déjà, ce que je peux dire
and last year, we were able to establish our chapter.
Ce qui m'a beaucoup intéressé à avoir ce chapitre-là dans mon pays, c'est surtout le fait que j'ai vu leurs actions sur
And one thing that encouraged me to have a chapter in our country, Burkina Faso, is what I have seen in terms of the impact of World Beyond War across other localities. And due to that, by seeing their impact, it encouraged me that I need to help and I need to establish a chapter in Burkina Faso.
Quand j'envoyais le mail, je m'étais dit que peut-être, même si je n'avais pas vu de mention par rapport au Burkina, je m'étais dit que peut-être il y a un chapitre. Mais j'étais très surprise.
When I was sending the mail, I had this doubt that, okay, maybe there's a chapter in Burkina Faso that I did not know, but however, I decided to send the mail and there was no chapter. And this is how I was able to join World Beyond War, establish a branch in Burkina Faso, and then we are progressing nicely.
Comme celui du Burkina Faso, parler de paix, ce n'est pas abstrait. C'est une nécessité quotidienne et
So,
c'est d'ailleurs un
if you
peu
take
de la mission de World Beyond
the
War.
context of Burkina Faso into
Je pense
consideration,
que
speaking about
c'est
war is not
important
something
que
abstract, it's something that people face
en
in real life
parler. Ça
or
va
in
beaucoup
reality in
apporter.
our country. So,
Et
when
la
I
manière
formed
qui
the
permet
chapter
aussi
is to
de
help resolve
mentionner
a
vraiment
daily issue
une large
or
participation,
a day-to-day
de toucher
issue
beaucoup
which
plus de
people
personnes
tend to
possible
face.
que de nos jours, beaucoup sont sur le numérique et tout. Donc, c'est plus facile de changer les mentalités, d'intégrer la notion de paix et de cohésion dans les esprits des uns et des autres. Donc, à ce niveau, je ne sais pas si Guy, tu as d'autres questions à me poser.
So at this level, I don't know if Guy has other questions to ask me, but this is what I can say.
Donc, peut-être une question de savoir au quotidien quels sont les exemples de choses que les membres du chapitre font.
So one question that I would like to ask you,
Donc,
Farida,
les
is
membres du
what are
chapitre,
some of the things
actuellement,
that members of your chapter normally do?
un peu moins d'une dizaine. Au quotidien,
So
c'est
in
plus de
our chapter, we are
création, des
about
gens qui sont
a
aussi dans
dozen
des
number of people,
associations. Voilà, donc des
and then
associations aussi qui œuvrent dans le sens de
we
la paix
normally
et de la
make
cohésion
posts and
sociale.
then speak to other
Donc ces
associations
membres-là
which are there
communiquent
for
beaucoup.
peaceful
Et on
purpose.
prépare même d'ailleurs aussi un webinaire la semaine prochaine
And currently, as I'm
sur
speaking, we are
le
preparing a
rôle
webinar
de
that
la
is going to
visibilité des
come on
jeunes
next week.
dans en comment les jeunes peuvent contribuer en fait à la paix.
And then our webinar will be on how can the youth
Sont
contribute
très
to
souvent.
bringing about peace in our various localities.
2026, parce qu'en 2025, on a commencé un peu avant pendant la fin du premier semestre. Et comme on était à notre phase de début et tout, moi j'ai participé à des webinaires, mais on n'a pas eu l'occasion d'être acteurs nous-mêmes d'un webinaire. Et pour 2026, si vous le permettez, en tout cas, on va mener beaucoup
Yeah, and
plus
last year we
d'activités
weren't able to organize a lot of
et
events,
essayer de
but
toucher
this year
aussi les
we are going to
jeunes
organize
comme
more events,
selon la
which is going to
possibilité
help
et tout.
reduce
C'est un peu ce que je
non-violence
dis concernant les activités.
for
Et pour
war through
2026, on a
non-violent means.
vraiment prévu un programme plus large pour toucher le plus de personnes, pour se faire sentir un peu au Burkina. Voilà.
And then we are going to organize a big program that's going to help a lot of people
Merci beaucoup
within our country,
pour
Burkina.
ce partage d'expérience et félicitations encore pour tout ce que vous faites dans votre pays. Et
Thank you very much, Farida, for all that you do within your country, Burkina Faso.
avec le Mali et le Ghana, qui sont des chapitres vraiment actifs dans la localité. Donc, merci pour cela. Et le Togo, que je n'oublie pas.
Thank you. There are other chapters which are very active, like the Ghanaian chapter, the Malian chapter, and also not to forget the Togo chapter.
Oui, ce que moi j'aimerais savoir, c'est comment davantage pouvoir travailler aussi avec les pays limitrophes, surtout de mon pays, avec lesquels on a très souvent les mêmes réalités.
So my question to you is that,
sont
for
pas
Guy,
liés
is
un
that
peu
how
la
can I
même
work with sister countries, the countries which are closer to us, which are facing the same realities as a local chapter? I'm able to collaborate with other local chapter in
Je mentionnais
country
vraiment
closer
la
to me.
sous-région parce qu'il y a des réalités communes similaires, notamment l'Afrique de l'Ouest, avec ces chapitres que j'ai mentionnés là, qui ont vraiment besoin de plus de synergie. Nous avons déjà un
So there are
cadre où les
some
chapitres
chapters in West Africa which really, really
les
need to
chapitres
synergize with other chapters,
région.
and they're always willing
La
to
question
synergize.
suggère peut-être de voir dans quelle mesure on peut également avoir
And we are planning of organizing meetings. But
l'espace
your question is now
dédié à
also
ces
bringing me
chapitres
to the
dans
reflection,
ces sous-régions
how can we effectively organize
afin
meetings
que
which
la
will help these different local
réalisation
chapters synergize well?
serait plus facile, ainsi d'avoir un échange entre les coordinateurs.
And
Déjà,
then we are going to try to make sure that the coordinators of these different countries are able to communicate and then exchange on various
l'événement
platforms.
que vous avez mentionné, qui arrive le 24 mars, est déjà co-organisé par les chapitres du Cameroun et du Burkina. C'est vrai que ce
And
ne
as
sont
you are
pas
saying that your next webinar is going to be organized in collaboration with the Cameroon chapter, which is already a sign of synergizing between two different chapters.
les chapitres partagent les uns aux autres leurs expériences et fassent des choses ensemble. L'avantage, c'est que nous
And then
travaillons
the amazing thing is that different chapters, when they come into collaboration, they can share their experiences. And then amazing thing, we can learn from each other, which is going to help us expand our influence and go broadly
quelque chose ensemble.
on our impact.
Ça va se faire. Ça va se faire.
Ok, si tu permets,
Thank
j'ai
you very
encore
much.
une question, la dernière.
Okay, Guy, if you permit
Ok,
me, I would like
comme
to ask a
je
second
m'étais
question.
présenté, je suis journaliste dans le premier média en ligne du Burkina, le Faso.net. Donc, je ne sais pas dans quelle mesure aussi, je ne sais pas si, que ce soit toi ou Greta, vous pouvez me peut-être faciliter peut-être des interviews avec des personnes de ressources, dans le sens en fait de la thématique qui,
And
dans
our
laquelle
webinar, we are
notre
trying to
world
feature
travaille
it
et tout, en
in
fait.
a
Je ne sais
channel
pas si je
on
peux
a
aussi
channel
apporter
in Burkina
ma
Faso.
touche
So we like to know if
faisant
you
aussi
or
des
Greta
interviews
can
des
recommend to us
acteurs
some
des
experts
organisations qui
that
sont
you guys
impliquées,
know,
étant donné que
so
c'est
that
une
the experts will be
organisation
able to
à but non
join our
lucratif
program
qui a
or
pour
speak
objectif
on these various channels
mais
that we are trying to
étant au
reach out
chapitre
to.
du Burkina, je ne sais pas comment ça peut se passer, mais s'il y a possibilité souvent d'avoir des personnes de ressources, des gens qui militent vraiment dans
And
ce
if
sens,
we don't know how
par
things are
exemple,
going to turn out, but if it's possible that either Greta or Guy, you guys can help us get experts who can
Ce qu'ils
speak
peuvent
at
faire,
our webinars
moi,
or
peut-être
our
en tant
programs.
qu'organisateur africain, je peux parler déjà à ce média pour parler de
Okay,
WorldBeyondWar,
Farida,
de nos actions.
I'll be
Mais
able to speak with
également,
some
je l'ai dit tantôt,
speakers or experts that we have on our
sensibiliser
continent, and
les orateurs,
if they are available,
d'autres personnes
they will
qui
be able
sont
to join the webinar and then
impliquées dans notre
contribute
page, qui peuvent
to your
intervenir
webinar.
sur différents sujets concernant notre mission. Donc, si le besoin se trouve dans cette ligne-là,
Yeah, and if your need is into this direction of needing speakers, needing experts, if our expert aligns with the team or the thing that you are tackling, you're going to make sure that our experts intervene and help as much as they can.
ou contribuer à une initiative locale, les personnes sont disponibles et nous n'avons qu'à coordonner longtemps avant pour nous assurer que nous
And then
avons
this experts are usually available. One amazing thing that we have to is you have to be proactive. That means you have to inform them ahead of time, and if you inform them ahead of time, they will be able to contribute impactfully to each and every of your activities, if possible.
C'est une opportunité pour être vu. Donc, ce serait également une opportunité pour nous de travailler sur ce sens-là. Donc,
And
peut-être
then
initier,
we are willing to
comme
help
ça fait déjà
because
en
every
place,
chapter is dear to our heart, and then we are willing to help the chapter
parlons
promote the vision and the
d'autres
mission of World
actions
Beyond War.
de l'évolution des guerres, des campagnes que nous menons pour mettre fin aux guerres. Et peut-être une fois tout le mois, nous pouvons avoir quelqu'un pour parler, une fois tout le trimestre, des fréquences que nous voulons donner. Donc, c'est quelque chose d'absolument faisable et je pense que c'est même une très bonne
And
idée.
what you are asking us is really, 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 really doable. It's feasible. So we will try our best to make sure that we support you in any way that we can.
Ok, merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Guy, for your answer to this question.
Ok, donc, Roméo, non pas Roméo, j'allais dire Elvis, n'étant pas encore en ligne, je crois que nous pouvons peut-être donner la parole à quelqu'un pour poser une question ou alors à un autre coordinateur.
Elvis is not yet online, so if somebody wants to ask a question, he can ask a question. But if there's a chapter coordinator here who would like to also say one or two things about their chapter, you have the floor to also say one or two things about your chapter.
Peut-être l'un d'eux voudrait partager son expérience, Roméo également, sur comment est-ce que vous avez commencé vos chapitres et comment est-ce que ça se passe. Donc, Victor qui a levé la parole. Je vous donne la
Okay,
parole.
Victor has raised the hand, and Victor, you have the floor to intervene.
Yeah, hello, everyone. I'm Victor Gabuli from Liberia, West Africa. This is my first time joining. We have the intention to establish our chapter, so we want to, as a part of the organization, I submitted my application. We would like to establish our chapter in Liberia. So I'll be happy if where you furnish me all the information, how the chapter will be established and what will be done for the chapter to be running. I'll be happy. Thank you so much. Are you there?
Yes, there's just a bit of a delay with the translation, so just give a moment. Guy's listening to the French translation.
Oh, okay.
Oui, merci Victor. Merci beaucoup déjà pour votre intérêt sur
Thank you,
la
Victor,
plateforme de
for your
discussion.
interest,
Merci de nous avoir contactés.
and thank you for
Nous avons
contacting
cette
us.
plateforme d'échange, c'est justement pour cela, pour savoir
And
comment
then
donc,
the purpose of this
vous
webinar is
avec
to respond to the various questions about your application process, how things are evolving,
Donc, au
and
Libéria, nous avons
what are the changes.
une demande qui est arrivée de
And
quelqu'un qui voudrait
to recognize you have already received your
s'appeler.
application
Mais
from
peut-être
Liberia.
Victor, parce que j'ai une demande qui peut-être une personne qui parle de Victor. Mais nous allons
We have received a request. It may not be in the name of Victor, but we have received a request of the establishment of a chapter in
continuer avec.
Liberia.
Mais d'emblée, pour la gouvernance de tout le monde qui nous suit et qui va suivre cet enregistrement. Donc, quand vous avez senti le besoin, c'est vous qui faites la demande, c'est vous qui sentez le besoin d'avoir un chapitre dans votre localité.
So when you make the request for establishing a chapter in your locality,
Il y a chapters@worldbeyondwar.org.
so you can always make sure that you send your emails to chapters@worldbeyondwar.org. And we are always willing to guide you guys about the processes, about the updates, and do not hesitate. We are going to make sure that we keep you guys updated whenever you submit an application.
Notre déclaration de paix que j'ai lu tantôt, il est important que vous lisiez la déclaration de paix et que vous la
And
signiez.
one thing that we ask everybody who is aiming to establish a chapter is to read our declaration of peace. Because whenever you read our declaration of peace, you'll be able to know, like it captures some major indicators which will be able to align how you are going to present yourself and then how you are going to go about your work.
Nous avons notre cours, une formation gratuite.
And for you to know World Beyond War, we have trainings.
Qui vous donne les rouages de l'organisation à la base.
And then we have our training 101, which is going to orient you about what we do, who we are, and the things that we take in charge.
À cela et vous consacrez une moyenne de 3 heures par semaine. Vous pouvez le suivre au bout de 4 semaines ou 5 semaines.
And if you're able to concentrate or dedicate about 3 hours a week, you'll be able to complete all our training 101 in 4 weeks, which is exactly 1 month.
Et quand vous l'avez fait, donc je me chargerai ensuite de vous guider.
And if you are done taking our 1 month course or the 4 weeks course, we'll be able to follow up with you, because by then we'll be able to be assured that yes, you have followed the course, you understand our mission, vision, and everything that we do. And then we can now move on in terms of helping you proceed to the next stage of your chapter creation.
Donc, maintenant, je vais dire, la formation à l'organisation n'est pas un passage obligatoire, non. En fonction
and one thing I would like to underline is that the training is not obligatory, but it's necessary.
Vous avez déjà suffisamment d'idées par rapport à l'organisation d'activités au niveau local. Nous pouvons échanger avec vous pour voir si vous êtes prêts. Et quand vous êtes prêts, vous nous dites quel type d'action.
And afterwards, we are going to exchange with you to just to make sure that you are ready to establish a chapter within your locality. And after exchanging with you and everything is done, you officially becomes a chapter of World Beyond War. Yeah, this is how we go about things.
Donc, nous avons d'autres coordinateurs comme Suzanne également, Charlotte, qui nous ont rejoints. Si vous souhaitez également.
So we have Suzanne and then Charlotte who just joined us.
Since it's a small group, Guy, I'm going to let people unmute themselves. That will just make it easier to facilitate this conversation. So I've just changed the settings so people can unmute if they want to chime in with any comments or questions.
Super, ça marche. Donc, les gens peuvent ouvrir le micro.
So right now, everybody can open their microphone and speak freely. Initially, we were controlling things, but right now, you have the freedom to open your microphone so that when they ask you something, you'll be able to intervene.
If you're interested in starting a chapter, we'd love to hear from you, and Guy can answer any of your questions about how to start a chapter. I know we also have many existing chapter coordinators who are on this call, and you're welcome to unmute if you'd like to share about your experience starting a chapter or if you have any questions for Guy.
Bonjour à tout le monde. Bonjour Greta, bonjour Guy.
Bonjour.
Good morning, Greta. Good morning, Guy.
Je suis Roméo Tekoudiou Sanquin, je suis le coordonnateur chapitre Cameroun.
I am Romeo and I'm the coordinator for Cameroon. I hope that you guys are doing well. So I'm going to share our experience in the Cameroon chapter.
Nous avons du mal à suivre Roméo.
We have difficulties following Romeo because it seems he has a network issue. His network breaks. And our Romeo is back. Our chapter in Cameroon is progressing well, and then we are really working on non-violent means of stopping war.
Nous avons formé les leaders communautaires sur la prévention des conflits.
And we have a leadership community which is progressing also well.
Nous avons, en partenariat avec les forums, mené plusieurs autres activités. Nous avons, dans un autre sens, mené la campagne contre les bases militaires, notamment étrangères.
In other means, we have been able to organize campaigns against military bases which are from foreign or imperialist nations which are in our nation and other African countries. And we have been able to also reinforce our capacity in the various matters which concern this particular issue of ending war through non-violence means. Thank you very much, Romeo, for your intervening and then presenting about the Cameroon chapter. So one amazing thing about the Cameroon chapter is that it's the first chapter which was created in Africa. It was the first World Beyond War chapter which was created in Africa. And this is something worth knowing. And then we have seen that somebody is in Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, precisely on the Goma side, who would like to establish a chapter. And then we have already chapters in Congo, and then we have a chapter in Kivu. So don't hesitate to reach out to us, and then we are going to see how you guys are going to connect together and also establish your chapter in your locality. And then please contact us and we will assess if there is a need to establish another chapter in Goma so that we'll be able to help promote the non-violent agenda of Indian war. Rosemont, sarcastically, we have a lot of people who are called Leon who want to establish a chapter of World Beyond War. If another person wants to open their microphone to share about your chapter, don't hesitate to open the microphone to share about your chapter.
Charlotte?
Charlotte, ensuite,
so Charlotte can start. After that, Gaia can also continue. Start with Charlotte. Good evening, Guy. Good evening, Greta. Can you hear me?
Merci beaucoup pour cette session.
Thank you very much for this session.
Malheureusement, partager les difficultés que j'ai en tant que coordinatrice du chapitre du Togo.
So, unfortunately, I would like to share the challenges that I have as a coordinator for Togo.
Ma stratégie était de pouvoir recruter que des membres jeunes pour mon chapitre parce que
my strategy in Togo was
c'est
to
entre leurs mains
recruit
que
young
l'avenir du monde
people for our
se joue.
chapter
Parce que c'est eux qui seront les décideurs de demain. Et donc,
because I think that the
si
youth
on
are
est
going to be the
encore en
decision
même temps,
makers of tomorrow.
et avec eux, on travaille vraiment sur
And I've gotten some youth which we are really
un
working hard
monde
at
sans
this.
guerre, tout en leur faisant comprendre quelles sont les conséquences de la guerre.
And then I'm trying my best to make
Avec
sure that these
d'avoir
youth
avec nous
understand
pour
the consequences, the bad consequences, or the
la
consequences of war.
mobilisation, les différentes campagnes,
And then we are doing
voir
different
les
campaigns
différentes formations qui sont faites.
and different trainings to help these people.
Ça va vraiment nous permettre d'avoir un monde sans guerre, hein, de prendre de bonnes décisions, hein, en faveur de contre la guerre ou en faveur de la paix. Donc, malheureusement, les jeunes, bon, soit ils n'ont pas le temps.
Unfortunately, the youth that I am meeting in Togo are not showing up. Unfortunately, I don't know whether they don't have time or they are just dedicated to other matters. They don't want to get themselves involved in this matter of ending war through non-violent means.
C'est pas compliqué pour eux. Donc, bon, alors que nous sommes à l'heure du digital, nous sommes à l'heure du digital.
However, we are in a digital world which people can connect to meetings from anywhere. But however, I'm still facing challenges in terms of making sure that all these youth come together collaboratively for us to do things together. And then when you ask them, people normally like saying, "Oh, I am not available."
Ils sont là, ils peuvent rien faire. Ils peuvent rien faire. Ils vont te parler de téléphone, ils vont te parler d'ordinateur, ils vont te parler de méga.
And then when you ask them things, they give several excuses. I don't have internet, I don't have mobile phone, I don't have this, that.
Ok, merci
Donc,
beaucoup, Charlotte.
c'est une situation qui handicape. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Charlotte, pour ce partage-là. Je vais revenir à ça, mais avant, il y avait un autre doigt, c'était Jumaba, je crois. S'il souhaite ouvrir le micro, parler, comme ça, on pourra répondre en une fois.
And I don't know if somebody else has another question, the person can ask, and then I'll be able to respond to it all at once.
Jumaba souhaite encore parler.
Gaia, did you want to speak?
Hello, good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
Gaia, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to ask if there is also a chapter here in Nigeria. If there is not, then I would like to start a chapter here in Nigeria also. So I would like to ask for the procedures. Thank you.
Ok, merci. Je vais commencer par la question de Abdou Gaïa, qui est plus simple à répondre.
I will start with a question of Abdou Gaïa.
Alors, oui, la réponse est oui. Nous avons un chapitre au Nigeria.
Yes, the answer is yes. We have a chapter in Nigeria. And it's one of the most active chapters we have. And then their model of operation or coordination is something a bit special, and then it's very large, which is amazing.
Ils ont une coordination nationale, donc le chapitre fonctionne un peu comme une coordination nationale, mais avec des...
And then the Nigerian chapter is a national chapter, which they coordinate as a national chapter and then coordinate other local chapters. So depending on your locality, maybe if there's no chapter there, you can establish a chapter. But no matter what, don't hesitate to send us an email or follow up with us, and then we check your community, we check with your national chapter to see if there's no chapter in that community. We are going to make sure that there is a chapter created by you, initiated by you, which is for this mission of World Beyond War by stopping wars through our various initiatives. And Gaia, you are warmly welcome. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we are going to do our best to make sure that you establish a chapter if there's no chapter in your locality.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, sir, I would also like to ask for the contact, how I can reach out to you if I'm to send maybe a message.
Oui, mon email est dans le chat. Écrivez
My email is in the chat. Gaia, you can check my email, which is africa@worldbeyondwar.org. That's my email. Don't hesitate to send me an email, and I will do my best to reply to you. And then by sending me a mail, we are going to start from there. Right now, I'm coming to respond to Charlotte's question about challenges that she's facing. And one thing that I agree with you, Charlotte, is that one of the challenges that we are having as coordinators in Africa is mobilizing people, is bringing people together. That's a big challenge that we are facing. That's something that we are facing, and I recognize that challenge. And then we are going to brainstorm together as coordinators in Africa to see how we can bring people together, how we are going to go about this coordinating of people. And then we are going to also try our best to see, despite having internet connection issues and many other issues, how do we mobilize people? How do we bring these youth together in order for them to accomplish the mission of World Beyond War? And I'm also in agreement with you what you talk about getting the youth, because as you say, the youth are the decision makers of tomorrow. And I am totally in agreement with you that we get this youth so that they'll be able to help us promote this mission, help us stop wars, so that tomorrow when they become decision makers, they will be still able to continue this mission. And then we are going to have actually a training on that, how to organize a local chapter. We are going to train ourselves on that. We are going to bring experts on that, and then they are going to talk about this particular matter, how to organize a local chapter, and then anything that concerns mobilization.
Voilà, nous avons encore quelques minutes. Si quelqu'un souhaite encore,
So we have some few minutes to close because you are closing at 4 p.m. If somebody has one or two questions, we'll be glad to answer the person and then bring our meeting to an end.
Well, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Guy, for that excellent presentation. And I'm so happy to see people on this call from all around Africa. It's just amazing to see how many chapters there are, and we welcome new chapters, and it's incredible to see the growth in the region.
Merci à tous d'être venus.
Thank you everyone for coming. And let's stay connected through our various means, social media, Facebook, all our various channels that we have. Let's stay connected. We have a lot to do together, and then let us work together. Let us facilitate things together. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye. You can unmute and say bye-bye.
Vous pouvez ouvrir votre microphone et dire au revoir à tout le monde.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Yes, you can
bye,
open the
bye,
microphones and say
bye,
bye, bye,
bye,
bye, bye, bye,
bye,
bye.
Goodbye.
bye, goodbye,
Good night.
bye.
Bye. Zoom yawa.
Yawa. Plug the phone on there, you know. Didn't give me